Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 183 of NerdPod Generations. As always, I am one of your illustrious hosts, Steve Taylor, along with the always lovely Al Jetsam. Hello, sir.
Hello, friends and enemies.
Stressful begin to the show, thanks to technology.
We just keep on having bad luck with technology right now, and I won't lie to you, it's been a real pain in my ass. I am definitely one that, as our viewers will no doubt know, I can fly off the handle at the drop of a hat.
At times.
And so you can only imagine how much more frustrated I get when it's something that I actually care about and not just a TV show. So we're okay now. Yes. But we're back on the Yeti. As they say in The Great Escape, we're back on the rope. We're going to do what we can.
I do have to say it was a nice flashback. It's probably since college that I heard the serial killer deep breath you have when you get mad. You're just sitting there breathing so deeply. I'm like, oh, somebody's going to get stabbed. And I think it's going to be the computer. And it's been since the frustrations of college that the last time I heard those, I think.
Yeah. I can think of that film class we took with Berger.
Oh, God.
Where it's like, I think working with a certain group of people on a certain Sharpie ad, there was a lot of that noise. At the height of swine flu, of all things. God, that was...
we're on the downward slide to 20 years. It's been... This year will be like 17, 18 years since we were...
I know.
Jesus, dude.
We met in 2009.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous.
That's messed up.
So in our sad old age and me and my old man reader glasses, this is NerdPod Generation episode 183, and that means there are 182 past episodes of pure gold. So if you are interested and like what you hear, please go to nerdpodgen.com. There's a link on our main page to the most recent podcast. There are also links to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, where Al graciously has been uploading single clips and full episodes of current and previous shows. So there's a bunch for you to listen to. So if you do go to any of those, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube and the podcast channel just so you can get updates on when a new show comes out.
Yes.
Because we try to be pretty consistent, but there are sporadic times just because life happens.
It's what I've found in doing years of this show at this point is the schedule is pretty much 3 weeks on, 1 week off, 3 weeks on, 1 week off. And then it ends... What we should really do is start having Halloween Horror Fest be our big end of the year extravaganza. With the knowledge of after Halloween Horror Fest, it's very likely we won't do more shows for the rest of the year, and then we'll come back and do like all the big November, December releases in January when we restart the show, which, as it turns out, is a dead zone for a lot of podcasters because that's when they take their vacation.
That is true, too. And between work, which is usually crazy for the both of us during that time, and then with Christmas with the kids, it's nightmare central. So anyways, folks, if this is your first time listening to us, we do like to start each episode with a nice segment called What Have We Been Watching, Playing, Reading? And today is going to be headlined by Al Jetsam.
I have like the 1,000-yard stare. Because, like, there's just so many things in my head right now of, like, I don't even know where to start. Because the problem is that I came in with a plan knowing that a Back to the Future style manure truck was going to come in and just overturn on my plan. I was like, I'm going to talk about, like...
So what was your plan?
My plan was to talk about Cool Runnings. I just watched Cool Runnings for the Olympics, which I really like that movie, but I will definitely admit that movie falls closer to... the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Secret of the Ooze nostalgia line than it does something of like a return to wherever. Like I'm going to watch this all the time because like I love that movie because I was a kid, but rewatching it, the writing in that movie is... Oh,
it's terrible.
It's dicey at best.
It's your typical 90s family comedy, which are not great.
It's not great.
No.
I did find it really interesting that with the exception of the main lead runner, all of the other guys on the cart all have monikers, not names.
Yeah.
One guy is Yul Brenner, one guy is Sanka Coffee, one guy is just Junior. Mm-hmm. And you're just like, interesting. I'd never noticed that as a kid. Like, obviously, whenever they said Yul Brenner, I'd be like, I don't get this joke. There's a joke here, and my parents are laughing, but I don't get it. But, like... I don't know. I like that movie, but I think I like that movie more because I watched it as a kid. Watching it now, you're just like, This isn't even like Mighty Ducks level of like, okay, this is passable. Like, this is pretty rough at times. There's some pretty rough dialogue here and there. My favorite is just like this idea that in 3 months they could make it to the Olympics and be a pretty decent team is just like...
Nah.
It's like how they get this sled that is literally held together by duct tape, and then one painting montage later, it looks like everybody else's sleds. Yeah. It's like, this was made out of metal, and now it's made out of fiberglass. I guess I'm just confused a little bit.
It's the 90s.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So definitely, like, you have to take
90s,
it...
right?
It was. It was deep in the 90s, because I watched it in the 90s, so it was definitely deep in the 90s. But I like that movie a lot. I like John Candy in that role. That was the main reason I watched it, was because John Candy, and I love fucking John Candy, and especially after last show talking about Catherine O'Hara, I was like, oh, I want to watch some John Candy, and I got to watch the John Candy documentary.
Yes, I want to see that.
But like he's so funny in that, because he all at once plays up and plays down scenes, and so he acts as the straight man at a lot of times, but also serves to amplify ridiculous moments. So like at one point, the one time they get a good push start and they get a good time, they crash into a police car at the bottom of the hill, and the police are laughing at them, being like, what the fuck? You're feeding us lies. And then their coach, this big fat guy, comes running down the hill and pushes the cops out of the way. He's like, how's the cart? Is the cart okay? Well, it's in the wrong place. Get it back up to the top of the hill. And it's just like this, the earnestness of this moment is carried by John Candy. And so he's the secret sauce that holds that movie together. The dressing down he gives to the Olympic Committee is also really good. I like that scene.
But there is also... For those of you who are unaware, there was an actor in the 90s who main claim to fame was being the statue that comes to life in the Madonna Like a Prayer video. And it was an actor who went by one name, Leon.
Yes.
And he's in Cool Running. And he's
the lead in Cool Running.
He's the lead in Cool Running. But he was... That's like in the 90s when they're like, we need a really tall, good-looking African-American man in our movie. Leon was the guy.
Yeah.
Like, I know he was the lead in The Temptations, and he was in, what was the Wesley Snipes Ice-T movie? New Jack City, I believe he was in. But he was in all these things, and then, of course, he was the statue that came to life, and he was the lead in Cool Runnings.
Yeah.
Leon.
He's okay. He's not bad. I wouldn't say he's good.
No.
His motivations seem to swing wildly throughout the entire movie, and... There's this whole moment where he becomes obsessed with the Swiss, which when you're watching it as an adult, you're like, this is unearned. I don't really understand where this comes from. And it serves as the central conflict in the third act of the movie. And you're just like, I don't know.
Oh, and he was one of the bad guys in Cliffhanger. Very underrated action movie. Love Cliffhanger.
No kidding.
Great movie.
Every time I think of Cliffhanger, I always get it confused with the arm wrestling one.
Oh, Over the Top?
Over the Top.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Over the Top's bad. Cliffhanger's fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, Cliffhanger is great. It is... Okay, it's not a good movie.
Right, because it's a Stallone movie.
But for a 90s action Stallone movie, it's fucking awesome. It's like, it's on that same level as like Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, I understand these are not like technically great movies, but it's a great movie.
I saw a really interesting... I'm going to just divert onto a tangent really quick. I saw a really interesting interview with Anthony Mackie talking about how movie stars don't exist anymore. Where when he was a kid, you would go and you would see the new Stallone movie. Or you'd go and see the new Schwarzenegger movie. Now you go and you see the new Falcon movie. Now you go and see the new Batman movie. But it doesn't really matter who is playing the characters. What matters is the character itself. And I think he's seen, the drop-off on things like Twisted Metal, which gets good reviews, looks good, but can't seem to attract a large fan base. Yeah. And, these other movies that he's been a part of where you'd think like, oh, Anthony Mackie's in that's a draw. And it's like, yeah.
But see, I think the thing with Twisted Metal, it's Peacock, right? I think
it's on Peacock.
It's because it's on the streaming service has fractured the viewer base. That's the problem.
And you have it behind a paywall and it can't air on TV. Like a lot of Peacock and CBS stuff will air on network before, as long as it's available to air. I still don't know how they show Yellowstone, because I'm fairly confident Yellowstone breaks a lot of FCC laws.
Ton of swearing, there's nudity, there's an insane amount of violence.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know how that can air on CBS, but they air it every week on CBS. But like a lot of these shows do that, where they air and then they are on the streaming platform. But Twisted Metal, NBC's never been like, we'll put Twisted Metal on the 10 p.m. time slot.
I think that's an overly violent. That's
the thing, is that you can't. It's too much of a thing. So now it sits behind this paywall, and nobody wants to get Peacock because they read reviews, And Peacock is not one of the good sub-platforms.
I have it for the Olympics.
I literally just have it for the Olympics. We're going to cancel it today and then have it for the next 2 weeks or whatever until the charge on it fails, and then whatever, it goes back into the wind. I mean, Paramount's the same way, although Paramount, this is why I had the deep side at the beginning. Paramount has had, how do I want to put this? A week so shameful that it's going to go down in history.
Yeah.
As far as botch jobs and being so clearly for the second time ever, sitting behind Trump ready to receive.
Yeah.
Is the best way I can put it.
Oh, absolutely.
For anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, CBS, on top of canceling Colbert's show, specifically because Trump told them to. Trump said, I won't let this merger go through with Skydance unless you can Colbert, and then put one of his cronies in charge of CBS, which was, again, one of the dictatorials of CBS's merger was this monster is going to go to the head of CBS when this thing goes through.
Yep.
And so one of the things that they did was say, well, we don't like how CBS covers the news, so we're going to botch and just jam out the entire news department, and Colbert being first to go, but I'm sure 60 Minutes is going to go next. There's no way the rest of the CBS morning news, that's going to go away. They're going to have to try and find new stuff to put in there, or it's just going to be all fluff, no filler. This week, in the most recent iteration of this event, the FCC came to CBS and said, hey, you know that interview with the up-and-coming Texas Democrat who's running for Senate?
Yep.
Yeah, you can't air that because he is too popular, and we don't want him to be popular. We want Ted Cruz to keep winning in Texas, and we're worried that if he wins, we're going to lose Texas, which is a very real concern to have.
Yeah.
And so CBS went to Colbert and said, you can't have him on the show. We won't put it on TV. And Colbert was like, well, we're still going to have him on the show because he's booked. And they were like, well, you can't air it on TV. And he said, okay, can I air it online? And they said, we'd rather you did. And he said, well, that's not no. And so he put it on YouTube.
Yep.
And this guy has done more fundraising in the last week because of that than any other time. And I'm not saying this like CBS had a plan the whole time. No, CBS tried their best to actively work the election system.
Yep.
As a news source that is supposed to be unbiased, actively tried to work the system, and it blew up in their face.
Yep.
And
then all the denials came out.
Yep.
Oh, we never.
We would never do that. What? I haven't eaten Brandon Carr's shit all week this week. Last time I ate his shit was 2 weeks ago, and it's just like, no, you are so full of his shit. You guys are doing this thing where you say one thing and then your actions are very clearly the other.
Yeah.
Anybody who is still, and I mean this so strongly to anybody listening, I have a very small platform, but I'm going to use it for what it's worth. Never take someone's word as what they mean.
Yep.
Always look to what they do.
Yep.
Because their actions will always say a very different thing
I agree.
than their words. Chuck Schumer, I call Chuck Schumer every day because I'm so pissed off at him because he's such a failure at actually being an elected official. Chuck Schumer, when I asked him about the Epstein list and what his plan is for that, his plan was to continue to demand that they release it. Dude, by your own office's standards, they were supposed to release it in December.
Yeah.
It is the end of February. You can't just say, well, but we demand that he stand himself account. He's not going to do it.
Yeah.
You have to make him do it. So by not doing that, you are tacitly approving his behavior. That's all there is to it. You can tell me all the time that you are against the Epstein list and all these other things, and you want it all exposed and you want it read aloud. But the fact that you could do that and you won't tells me that you don't want it out loud. You just want us to think you want it out loud.
Exactly.
And it's just, Trump has spent the last 20 years showing us who he is. When he doesn't tell you who he is or you don't believe him, believe his actions. He's shown us the entire time
Not even
who he
20,
is.
the last 50 years when his name became big and synonymous with, quote, air quote, success, even though he never had any success himself.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
So moving on to better things, and then we're going to turn back into frustrations.
Okay.
The Olympics have been great. I've really enjoyed the Olympics, especially the figure skating has been really fun. We've watched a lot of the sliding events, so specifically bobsled, skeleton.
They're so much fun.
Luge. So, but that's been great. My favorite thing is just watching the two-man luge and being like, so how do we decide who sits on who? Because this is competitive lap setting at this point. and who, you know, you're going to be like two frat guys sitting on top of each other who can get it down to the bottom of this giant hill the fastest while you sit on top of each other and don't pop a boner. They're in spandex.
Everyone was thinking it, but you had to say it, didn't you?
But like, I'm just saying, like, it is the most frat boy sport of all time.
Oh yeah,
it's just like all they need. They have these hyper sophisticated sleds, but really all they need is a shovel to sit on and a bro to sit on their lap and 5 beers, and they're good to go.
Yep.
But it's especially funny because I assume it's a weight thing. Like, you want these guys that are bigger and burlier, but you have guys that are roughly my size. I'm like 250, 5'10", and you have like these really bigger guys in these spandex suits, and I'm just sitting here like, okay, not what I thought of when I thought of this, but hey, whatever, it's cool. One of the guys that was competing got into the sport because he looked up sports he could get into in the Olympics without having any training in his entire life.
That is amazing.
And they were like, oh, bobsled. It's like, oh, cool, I can do that. I can drive a bobsled.
You just gotta push.
Yeah, so that's been great. I love the figure skating. Alyssa Liu is fantastic, though her mouth piercing is deeply troubling to me.
Very troubling.
I'm not even a father, and all I can think is, your dentist must fucking hate that.
Fuck.
The enamel on your front teeth is so fucked. It's so fucked. And you're so lucky you didn't get an infection when you gave yourself the piercing. Septums go up. They go up, go an inch up, and you got it. You're right in the right space. But this, I worry, and I definitely worry. I'm not one of those like, oh, but think of the children. I'm not a Helen Lovejoy. No. But like, think of the children. There's going to be like 2 dozen fucking stupid teenagers that are like, I love it. I'm going to do it. And she did it herself. I'm going to do it myself. And it's like, this is the dumbest thing.
You know what, though? Dennis must love it because it's going to... So much business is coming their way from fucked up teeth and gums.
Oh, my God. So, but that's been great. I've been really loving that. And so the closing ceremonies are today, and we'll talk about that next week. But this is the end of my Olympic talk because now we have to talk about trailers.
Yeah. Well, do we want to start? Do we want to start good or end good?
Let's start with good because I'm gonna the other stuff is gonna leave a bad taste in my mouth. So
this is good but frustrating.
Yes.
Which is
Mandalorian and Grogu. We finally have a real trailer that actually shows us the plot. It looks great.
Looks great.
I immediately was like, okay, this is what we've been waiting for.
Yes.
This is what we've wanted for weeks and weeks and weeks to tell us, like, don't worry. It's not only going to work out, it's going to be good. You're going to enjoy yourself going to this movie. There's going to be violence. There's not a scene of Bo-Katan in the entire trailer. Nope. There's no other Mandalorians.
It looks like the first season of The Mandalorian.
It looks like the first season of The Mandalorian.
Very much so.
And it tackles this big question of Mando understanding that Grogu will outlive him by centuries. Yep. And now wanting as a father to be like, I need to prepare him for when I'm gone. And it's just like, okay.
That's fucking awesome.
We've made it. This is what we've been waiting for. There's Hutz. There's Baz, or I can't remember his name, but he's in Rebels. Yep. He's great. He's played by Steve J. Bloom.
And then the guy from The Bear plays the Hutt that he fights.
Yeah.
I can't remember the dude's name.
Jeremy Allen White.
Yeah.
I love everything about this trailer, the tone, the style, the fact that they go back to his original ship.
Yeah, which is awesome.
They're like, okay, all right, the whole thing with the...
I never liked that whole
Naboo racer.
Yeah,
I liked it, but I get why it's like, it again, in a show that got further and further away from its central premise and closer to, this is all nostalgia bait for Star Wars fans. It did feel like a necessary step back to be like, no, we're going back to his original ship because this, again, like Bo-Katan, like all these other Mandalorians, like trying to retake Mandalore, this got so far away from what the series was supposed to be about in the first place and became something new and worse.
In his old ship, I mean, he is a nomadic character, and the old ship is as much an apartment as it is a ship.
Yes.
Where the Naboo one was tiny.
It's just a fighter. It's just like a...
Exactly.
It's a planet hopper. You'd have to refuel every planet you went to. So
it got away from the whole thing.
I really like this. I really like this style and look. Immediately, the concerns I have are there seem to be some moments in the trailer that feel like they're going to be very situational based. So like the Greedo mother and her child, and they jump out, and now there's this rocket ship bassinet that Grogu can jump into, and you're like, okay, all right, I guess it's fine, I'll take it, but like, why doesn't he just have a rocket bassinet that he can just ride around in all on his own? Why does he need to find one? I like this. I like this a lot. Keep going with this tone. Keep going with this style. Try and not fall back into this is for everyone. Try and understand that this is for fans that have been fans since the beginning. You do not need to target 7-year-olds. The 7-year-olds that were into it in the first place are now like 14, 15.
And they don't give a shit about Grogu anymore. Baby Yoda's not a thing anymore.
So, like, focus on the good stuff. Yes. Don't get distracted by the bad stuff. I love that the medallion Grogu wears is, like, his armor. Mm-hmm. He, like, tightens it if he needs to. Like, there's some really cool stuff here. Don't get distracted. Yeah. I love the idea that it seems episodic. Like, okay, here's this mission. You go on it, you come back. Here's this mission. You go on it, you come back. Mm-hmm. I'm really looking forward to how this plays out as long as it works. Yeah. If there's more story than there's time given, not for, because there's as much time as Disney will give, but Disney is very weirdly stingy on time when they think something is not going to be for all audiences. Yeah, which... These are the reasons I still have concerns, because you can show me this great apartment building, but the record of your apartment building company tells me that there might be some shoddy workmanship on the inside. So I hope it's as good as it looks. I just worry. But why, why was this not the Super Bowl ad? Why?
That's I don't understand.
At the very least, have there be a bit at the end of the Super Bowl ad being like, okay, now go watch the full 2-minute trailer online. Yeah. This was just like us saying there's a new trailer, but we're not going to buy out 2 minutes of Super Bowl time. So here's a silly Mandalorian Budweiser ad, but there's a full trailer online now.
Yes. And there are tens of millions of people that will not see this trailer because they won't look for it on YouTube.
Exactly.
That would have seen it during the Super Bowl. And so you're talking this, and this is not a joke. This could sway opening week box office by tens of millions of dollars. Yeah. By not having this as the Super Bowl ad. Yeah. And I don't know who is running the promotional department for this film. They fucking need to be fired. Yeah. Because this trailer is what should have been on fucking Super Bowl Sunday.
Literally all you needed in the trailer was the moment where you have the two guards standing by the door, and the door opens, and Mando flamethrows the entire room and walks in and shoots them both. Yeah. That would have been your teaser. Yes, and that would have been, everybody would have been like, we're back, baby. Yes. We're in. Let's go. I'm buying my ticket today.
And last week, we were kicking around the idea, maybe Pedro Pascal's actually not in this and he just does voice work. Well, we see his face in this, so you know he's in this. And that could have been another selling point where people are like, oh, that's right, he plays the Mandalorian. Yeah. Because I guarantee there's a lot of people that checked out after season 1 or 2 that forget that he is the Mandalorian, and that might be a draw also.
Or also like this idea of, there's a lot of people similar to us who feel like season 3, the big problem with season 3 was that it stopped being about Mando. Yes. So now you show Mando's face and you say, hey, we got him. Yes. He's here. It's real. It's not someone else. We're not going to bring in some other tertiary character that you've never heard of who's now going to steal the entire scene. Yeah. This is going to be about him.
And this kind of goes back to what you were talking about with like actors not being a draw. I think the only real draws nowadays are actually directors. Like if a Tarantino film comes out, everyone's going to see it because it's Tarantino. Yeah. I don't get why it took me reading a press release to realize that Jon Favreau directs this movie. That should be a big thing in the trailer. Yeah. People know that name from Marvel. I mean, he created the MCU pretty much with Iron Man, and he also created The Mandalorian, and he helped out with a lot of what's good with Star Wars now. And it's like, why is his name not like a big thing? Jon Favreau direct. That would be a draw also.
You would think that it would be all three of them. You would think that it would be directed by Jon Favreau, produced by Dave Filoni, starring Pedro Pascal. Exactly. But instead, they are trying to sell this as like, oh, The Mandalorian is enough of a sell on its own, even though the last season was kind of a fiasco and left a really sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. We are not the only people that didn't love season 3 of Mandalorian.
And the other thing is, it's been long enough since season 3 that even the tertiary fans have forgotten that it exists. Yeah. They're like, oh, yeah, I remember that show. That was like, 5-6 years ago?
What was the last Star Wars show? It was something about Rebels and something. Yeah. But it wasn't Rebels. It was something else. And then there was a Star Wars show before that, but that was also about Rebels, but not those Rebels, but also those Rebels. And... yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I just think it's not being promoted well at all.
No, I agree.
But this was a really good trailer.
This was a great trailer.
It made me want to see this movie.
This made me want to buy tickets to this movie for the first time since they announced it, without me being like, okay. I'm still like, okay, but it's not going to stop me from buying tickets. And with it being shot for IMAX, like kind of maybe even going to see it in IMAX. Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to talk really quick about pressure
Yes.
Pressure looks really interesting. This is a Brendan Fraser-led piece with
He plays Truman, right? I think.
Andrew Scott.
Yeah.
No, Ike.
Yeah.
Eisenhower.
Eisenhower.
So he plays Eisenhower, and Andrew Scott is in it as a meteorologist.
British meteorologist.
And it's the story of trying to predict the weather for D-Day and how the weather will affect whether the invasion happens on the day that it's scheduled. There's all these concerns of, like, if we delay it, the Germans are going to find out, and then they're going to be waiting for us, as is. They're already kind of waiting for them, as we know from the 21st century. We can now look back and be like, yep, the Germans were ready. They knew you were coming, and it is kind of a miracle that it worked out in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I know human intervention, all these other things, it wasn't necessarily a miracle. Like, they had a plan, and they did these things. Right, okay, get it. But at the same time, can we also agree that a lot of luck went into that being a success?
Yeah, we should have bombed the shit out of the shoreline, which fucking didn't want to do.
Yeah. So anyway, Pressure looks really interesting.
Yeah, it looks
very dramatic. I'm curious about Brendan Fraser, not because I don't think he can play this role, but because I don't think Eisenhower when I see him.
No.
So that was the first thing that kind of threw me. I'm excited for him to have this kind of role.
Yes.
When they said Eisenhower, I was like, oh, he's playing Eisenhower? I thought he was just a general in the army. I didn't realize he was playing Eisenhower.
And I'll be honest, when I was watching this trailer, as good as it looks, the only thing that ringed in my head was Oscar bait.
Yeah.
This is an Oscar bait movie.
Yeah. This is like someone saw Dunkirk.
Yeah.
They said we can have Oscar war movies in the summer as blockbusters. I just I want to like Dunkirk so bad, but like
I know.
the Harry Styles element of it, which I get, again, was done very purposefully with a very specific vision in mind, and I can appreciate that, but I just found those parts of the movie so hard to get through. I just found it just like nails on a chalkboard of just like, can we just... I'm so frustrated, and I can't tell any of these guys apart, and I know that's the point. I get it, but at the same time, Tom Hardy's stuff is so interesting, and he's a pilot.
And how you don't even... Like, if you didn't know he was in the movie, you wouldn't know it's him.
And
they never show his face.
The stuff with Mark Rylance trying to get the boats, and like all these other things are
Cillian
so much
Murphy
more
on the boat,
interesting
and,
than this.
So
This should be the most interesting thing. These men trapped on a beach, but instead
Yeah.
they're kind of like bored and nervous. They're too scared to be bored, but they're too bored to be nervous.
See, what I liked about that, though, is it's that showing what... They were kids. They really were kids.
Yeah.
And what would kids be like in a situation like this?
Yeah.
That's kind of... So, yeah, I can see your frustration.
Mom's late coming to get me again. Nerds.
Nerds.
Mommy, come and
You
get
said
me.
nerds.
But anyway, so I am interested in Pressure. I agree with you, though. It does... I like your reaction when we were watching the trailer of, well, I guess that's a story from the war we haven't told yet. The weather.
The weather. We haven't told the media.
Yeah. But that was good. Normal, I want to just touch on, just to say that it's Hot Fuzz.
It looks fun.
I'm interested. The problem is that I didn't really like Nobody. I found that Nobody kind of like, it was a big inflated balloon that didn't go anywhere, and I was just like, oh.
See, I liked Nobody. I will have that sentiment. I watched Nobody too. That is exactly the sentiment I had for that.
Yeah.
Nobody was John Wick with a dude.
Yeah, with just a guy.
With just a guy.
Yeah.
It's like when they had the Die Hard clones after Die Hard came
Exactly.
out. That's what this was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about Normal.
Yeah, it looks all right.
It looks okay. At the moment I realized, like, oh, this is just Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
This is just Hot Fuzz with
Hot
Fargo.
Fuzz.
Yeah. So that looks interesting,
Yeah.
but I don't know if we're ever really going to talk about it
Nah,
ever again.
probably not.
Toy Story 5.
Oh,
All I
fuck
want to
that
say
bullshit.
about Toy Story 5 as we start getting into the stuff, like, we're going downhill. I don't know if you've noticed at this point, friends and enemies, but we're slightly going downhill. Fucking Toy Story 5 makes me so frustrated and angry and vengeful and like I'm just so done with this, man. I'm just so fucking done with this shit. Like, this series should have ended on Toy Story 3.
It was the perfect
You had
ending.
the perfect ending.
Yep.
Literally the perfect ending.
Yep.
It was tied up with the best bow ever. Everybody and their cousin said this is perfect.
It was the Indiana Jones ending.
It was so good.
The ending of both
It was
threes.
excellent.
Yep.
It was everything you could ever hope for and more. And then you muddied it with 4.
Yep.
And now you're just trashing on it with 5.
Yep.
And, oh, the toys have to fight against technology? Oh my god. And Barney gets a iPhone. He has an iPhone, guys. Holy shit. Who fucking cares?
And here's the spoiler. Technology will always fucking win.
Yes.
So I don't know how they're going to make the toys win in this. Because they ain't fucking winning, dude. No. As soon as my son got a fucking video game machine, done with fucking
They're
toys.
gonna hack into the iPad, whatever its name is.
Oh, it's the leapfrog.
Yeah, it's like a lily pad or something.
Pad,
so it's named Lily or something stupid like that. And but they're gonna hack into it and find out that it's been spying on Bonnie and collecting her parents' financial information.
And like the thing is they kind of took some of the thunder from Ron's Gone Wrong, which is a great fucking movie. I love that movie. But it's kind of it's following kind of the same thing where you have the technology is like the bad guy, and I don't know. I think
this is
nothing.
Dumb. This is nothing to me.
No, like I've rewatched 1, 2, and 3 a million times. I only watched 4 that one time that I saw it, and I have no interest in watching it.
And instead of doing 4, they should have just done a spin-off.
Yeah.
Of like, this takes place in the Toy Story universe. It's all new toys.
Yes.
None of the toys that you know, so we don't have to worry about actors from the 80s dying because they've been doing these for so fucking long.
Yep.
You know, like they have that one scene at the end where Mr. Potato Head and Slinky Dog are talking about it being nice that Woody and Buzz are fighting again.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, both these guys are dead.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Potato Head is dead.
Yeah.
And like, just a whole new crew of toys. Just a whole new crew of toys. If you want there to be some level of crossover, you can do something funny where it's like, you still have Ham, so you can have John Ratzenberger in the thing, but it's like a different
But even
Ham.
him, he's got to be in his late 80s.
Yeah,
so
right?
He doesn't have much time left.
Exactly. So it's just like, the whole thing was just like, I walked into it knowing that this was going to be bad. And then the more I watched it, the more ham-fisted it becomes. So it's like, oh, we don't know how to solve our problems, so now we have to get Woody back, even though Woody's on his own life mission, and we can't do this without Woody, so now Woody's back, and he has a poncho, and everybody thinks it's funny.
I'll be
and
honest.
He's bald. He's a toy, and he's bald. What the fuck is this?
The vibe I got from it was those 90s straight-to-DVD sequels.
Yeah.
Like Return to Jafar and all that,
Yeah.
where I was like, this doesn't seem like an actual... Like, I wouldn't be shocked if that's not Tom Hanks, it's his brother.
I was about to say,
because he voices all the
Tim
toys.
Hanks or whatever his name is, and you bring him in instead. Like, to me, all of this, because even Toy Story had those. They had those, like, recently. Sporky or whatever his fucking name is had, like, a Halloween special. And all those other. Why is this a feature-length presentation?
I don't get it.
I do not understand this. I don't know why you're putting money and time into it.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're making us all sit through another Toy Story movie. This is so only for kids that even I think the parents won't enjoy it. And I'm so frustrated because you had it all and you so willingly blew it. You so willingly said, I like money more than closure. And I am more than willing to destroy the closure of others so I can make more money. And it's like, that's such a stupid fucking rationale to use to do this kind of shit.
Fucking dumb as hell.
And it just makes me so crazy and mad.
Oh boy, folks. Hold on to your popcorn, folks.
Speaking of crazy and mad. So to start this, I want to start this with how I learned about this trailer. I learned about this trailer because our beloved co-host Steve sent me a text message and included a link. And in that link, he said, this actually doesn't look too bad. And I said, oh, good. And so I opened it and I saw what it was. And I said, nope, 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 nope. And I turned it off before the trailer even started. And I sent Steve an image from Memento of him with the photo that says, don't believe his lies. The new Spider-Noir trailer is out. And a little background. At the risk of being a hipster, I've been into this since before it was cool.
Yeah.
I read the original comic when it came out. I bought the original comic as soon as I could on graphic novel with both of them. It's a 2 comic series. Or I guess it's multiple comics, but you know what I mean. There's 2 graphic novels. And Spider-Noir is so fucking good. All right. Spider-Noir is brilliant because Spider-Noir is what we've talked about with so many other superheroes, right? You get your Daredevil, your Batman, fucking Punisher, Luke Cage, so many other superheroes that start out, maybe not Punisher, but start out with like that bright primary color, fun, joy, woo! And then you, in the 90s, 2000s, you had Marvel Knights. And Marvel Knights with a K was like the dark, edgy Marvel comics. And it's just all about like, oh, Daredevil is trying to nail a rapist in court while also trying to beat the shit out of the rapist as Daredevil. And you're like, okay, cool, whatever, I get this. I like this. This is jam. I like this a lot. You could never do that with Spider-Man because Spider-Man had to be primary color. Yeah. Right? The nature of Spider-Man in his fandom was that he had to be of primary color. And so Spider-Noir does what we were just talking about with Toy Story. It says, hey, this is Spider-Man. This is not 616 Spider-Man. This is not the Spider-Man you've known for 40 years. This is not the Spider-Man that you've ever envisioned. This is a kid from the 40s who is trying to figure out all the weird mysticism that's coming up. And, oh yeah, his uncle was eaten by the Vulture. Not gunned down in a car. Not killed by a home invader. Eaten by the Vulture, who is a circus sideshow geek in the circus of one Norman Osborn.
Oh, that's so awesome.
There's really fucking cool shit.
Yeah.
And you're gonna fucking blow it because you did the stupidest thing you possibly could. The thing that makes me the most angry about this, because I'll sit here and I'll say, sure, the look is good. Him swinging around looks good. The costume looks good. The scenes in the bar with him in the costume look good. The moments where he's being Spider-Man look good. You know what the problem is? You cast fucking 65-year-old Nicolas Cage! And you know what makes it even worse? Is that the reason you did that was because after Into the Spider-Verse...
Yep, where he voiced...
Everybody was like, I love Nicolas Cage! I love this newer Spider-Man who doesn't know what colors are! And I'm just sitting here like, yeah, hey Pete, what happened to your uncle? How do you feel about Sandman? If I said the name White Widow to you, would it mean anything? No? Okay. Fascinating, because I think that would have been a cool thing to do. But this is a children's movie, so you can't do the story where Norman Osborn slashes up... No, wait, not Norman Osborn. The Big Man. How far back are we going? I have to cite the Big Man. They take the Big Man and the Enforcers and the Rose. These are the guys that Spider-Noir fights. People no one in the modern age has ever heard of. Close. The Big Man? The Big Man is the big villain? Yeah. And you know what he does? He fucking slashes up Felicia Hardy's face. She's a prostitute, and he says, I need stuff on Spider-Man, and she says, I'm not doing that. So he cuts her face up. And so she puts on a mask and becomes the White Widow and goes out and starts killing mobsters. Are we going to do any of that? No? Okay. Fine. Why are we doing that? Why did you cast 60-year-old fucking Nicolas Cage? And by the way, not as his character from Into the Spider-Verse. So you didn't need to cast 60-year-old Nicolas Cage in this because it's not the same guy. It's a fully different guy. How different a guy? He's Ben Reilly here. Into the Spider-Verse, he's Peter Parker. We hear him call himself Peter Parker. So I guess my question is just, why? Are we going to get psycho-fascist Otto Octavius who experiments on people and fucking... lobotomizes black men, including Rand Robertson, Robbie Robertson's son. Are we going to do that?
You're not getting that.
No. How about when he turns himself into a giant monster octopus? Are we going to do that? No. How about him experimenting on the Wasp and Ant-Man? Are we going to do that? No. So why are we doing this? So then my question just becomes, why? Because you're not going to do the Green Goblin. You're not going to do Norman Osborn. You have Molten Man. Molten Man. Hey, cool. Whatever.
And was there a glimpse of maybe Electro?
I've heard rumors of Electro, Mr. Negative, Molten Man, and I want to say like Boomerang or Shocker.
Because there was that scene where, it was either Shocker or Electro.
Yeah.
Because one of the hands was starting to glow with electricity.
Yeah, but then that would be Electro because Shocker's is all vibrational based.
But... They could fuck up.
They could fuck this shit
up. That's
up.
what I mean.
Yeah.
It could be either or.
And it's just so frustrating because, on the one hand, I want to applaud them, right? Because they did something that I have thrown a fit over before. There's no actual functional web swinging in Homecoming. Yeah. There's none. Homecoming bailed on web swinging because they decided that it had been done to death before, and I'm just like, so Superman's not going to fly in this one? What are you talking about? It's his main modus of operandi, and it's what makes him different from everybody else. Why would we not do this?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we don't... You have the Vulture, and you're not going to do battles over New York? You have the Vulture, and you're not going to do... Their end climax fight is going to be on fucking Brooklyn's... Coney Island Beach, are you fucking... What the hell is wrong with... We're not talking about
Homecoming.
So I want to give them...
talk about Bruno.
I want to give them credit because this has web swing.
Yes.
And it looks good. And the look of it is good. And then I just see Nicolas Cage doing this, woo! Ha! And I'm just like, why? I've seen Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Are you going to paint abs on this one too? Like, what the fuck are we doing? Why is he 60? Why is the central premise of your trailer with no powers comes no responsibility? I want to flip this table. I'm so mad. You so fully fucking forgot the face of your fathers. How have you gotten so far away from anything that makes this reasonable, rational, or pointful? And now we're doing the exact opposite of everything important. And it's just stupid bullshit garbage held up on the laurels of Spider-Man. Ooh, it's a dark Spider-Man. Woo! But you're not going to make a dark Spider-Man. Yeah. You're going to do a bullshit nonsense version of it that is full garbage and is only decent because the last 3 live-action Spider-Man have been awful garbage shithouses.
I love watching your rants. It's the greatest thing ever. I do. Sorry, I gotta compose myself. That was the best. Oh my god, I'm tired for you. I think you need a cup of coffee or something.
At least you can watch it in black and white, Steve.
Yes, you.
At least you can watch it in black and white.
Every time I see a modern Nick Cage performance, and this trailer is no exception, I see Andy Samberg's impression of him on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
it is so spot on.
Yeah.
His
hairline just keeps getting further and further up.
Getting further up, and he has the talking loud moments, and it's just fucking.
It makes me
so
mad
himself now
because you could do something really cool.
Yeah,
you could do something really cool.
Well, take all those storylines you said and do a DC R-rated animated version of it,
right?
With those dark storylines,
right?
Yes,
there's really rad shit you could do here that will instantly get an entire new fanboy base on board. Not for memes. Not for aw shucks, not for look how silly and stupid it is. Yeah. Oh, he doesn't know what a Rubik's Cube is. There's going to be a Rubik's Cube somewhere hidden in this. I swear to God, it's going to be there. There's going to be all this bullshit and garbage and nonsense that gets in the way, and it's going to make it so that we can't have anything good when this could be fucking great. The animated Constantine movies, like that level of fucking great. He smokes cigarettes. He's a detective. He works for the Bugle, but he also blows them off all the time. He has Mary Jane on one hand and Felicia on the other.
I just rewatched that first one, the Justice League Dark. Oh my god, it's so fucking
good. The Mysterio in the Noir verse is so cool, and you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna do any of the cool shit that makes the Noir style universe dope as fucking shit. Yeah. So why are you going to fucking do it at all? Don't do it. Don't do it, because you're gonna do it badly.
But that has been pretty much the glowing sign for anything Sony having to deal with Marvel characters.
Yeah.
They just can't, they cannot do it well.
No.
It's impossible for them to do it well.
No, they don't know what they have.
No.
And they...
Except for the Spider-Verse movies. Those are clearly the only exceptions.
Yeah.
Other than that, they...
Well, but you know how the Spider-Verse movies work is that... So the way that the Marvel movies work, to my understanding, this is, again, I might be wrong, but to my understanding, the way that this works, for the live-action Marvel movies, Fahey and Avi Arad and Amy Pascal all get in a room and decide what they're going to do for a storyline.
Yes.
And then they go through 9 million rewrites, and they fill it to the brim with movie references and other stupid bullshit that have nothing to do with the character. And because of that, they have to strip out essential elements because they don't know how to write a good story. So it's like, oh, we're going to do Spider-Man without web swinging. Oh, we're going to do Spider-Man, but he doesn't have spider sense. Oh, we're going to do Spider-Man, but he fails every strength challenge he has. Oh, we're going to do Spider-Man, but he doesn't have any good characters in this universe, so we have to borrow them all from another universe. Or 2, as the case might actually end up being. And then they put that out. And it's garbage and it's bad because it's written by committee by a group of people that have no creative ideas and no ability to be creative on their own. Mm-hmm. Whereas Into the Spider-Verse movies, again, my understanding is that the way that those work is the writers come in and they say, this is what we want to do. And Avi Arad says, these are the Spider-Man characters that would fit in your story. And they say, oh, the Spot. I like the Spot. I like this. This is fun. This works perfect. Thanks, Avi. And then they go off and they write something. And he doesn't have anything to do with that. And Amy Pascal doesn't have anything to do with that. And they're just allowed to go off and do things. Mm-hmm. And then they come back with a draft. And by then, the animation is so far along that you really can't change too much about it. So you can't have this overly produced nonsense plugged into it. And it's just I think the key difference here is one group is helmed by Avi Arad and Amy Pascal, who are easily two of the dumbest, most fucked up people I've ever heard stories about.
With Kathleen Kennedy.
They're terrible at what they do. Avi Arad should be much better at what he does, considering how long he's been doing it. He's been doing it so long, he produced the Spider-Man that I grew up on.
Yeah.
He should be way better at this than he is. It's frankly insane that he's as bad at it as he seems to be. And that's why we keep getting shit like this, where you chase after a meme instead of writing something good. Mm-hmm. All you needed to do was write something good using the actual storytelling of the original series. But instead, you're making a meme. Why are you making a $200 million meme?
That's what all media is mostly nowadays.
It's insane to me.
It's all memes.
Yeah.
You know, that's the problem.
Yeah. But, like, you look at K-pop Demon Hunters, Sony, I'm going to bring up your most recent burn. Mm. You look at K-pop Demon Hunters, and that was a story that was based on a meme, but you gave it to artistic types, and they ran with it, and they created something unique and authentic and great. And then you said, well, that scares me. I better sell it to Netflix for just the cost of the product and no upcharge whatsoever. And so here's K-pop. Oh, okay, Sony, here's $200 million. And so he says, well, I covered my ass. And then it turns into $1 billion franchise.
That's the thing that I think Sony and a lot of companies make the mistake. They'll have a property that they think no one's going to watch. And everyone ends up watching it. And then they have a property they think everyone's going to watch. So they put too much overproduction into it, and then no one gives a fuck.
That's what I think this is. That's exactly what I think this is. I think if you just release this as an actual noir story that was dead set on being authentic to the style, pace, and characters of the original comic, and didn't have all this production, and didn't have Nicolas Cage, and it wasn't a joke, and there weren't any bits, it was just a straight up, very serious drama, this would go gangbusters. This would be fucking huge.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain of it. But because of this, it's going to be huge for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah. And stick to your guns. Only film it in black and white.
Yes.
They had to do what the fucking Werewolf by Night did, where they had it black and white and they put it in color and it ruined everything.
They didn't even show the trailer in black and white.
No, they showed it in color.
The trailer's in color, and then at the end of the trailer, they're like, oh, and if you want, you can change the color to make it black and white.
But it's like, if nobody knows the term noir, then don't see the fucking if you are making a noir, of course you have things like Chinatown, which are like neo-noirs and whatnot, but pretty much that whole genre, black and white, is how you need to show those things.
Yeah.
Because that's what makes them great.
No, I'm so not looking forward to this. This whole thing is such an enormous bummer. And if you want the Spider-Noir feel without having to read the comics, get Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, which Spider-Noir is one of the lead characters. The voice is great. The writing is great. The characters are amazing. Hammerhead is the main villain. It's so fucking good. And it's all sneak kill levels. It's not fight on your feet levels. It's all sneak kill levels. They have this jazz band, like a Harlem-style jazz band for all the music. It's so cherry. It's so good. So if you don't want to read the comics, but you do want to see what it's supposed to be, find and download Shattered Dimensions. At this point, it was for Xbox 360. I think Xbox made any money they were going to make on that. You can just, I'm going to tell you to pirate it because I don't fucking care.